I've done a lot, so everyone can hear you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So cool, this little area. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're back separately from this sometime with more time, or during the road at some point, we should connect you with the Fresno Magic Club.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be very cool.
They do regular meetings. It's like I said, more active than some
See,
cities, and more supportive of folks.
Cool, yeah.
A lot of them are.
I just said starting at
Oh, that's
11
cool.
a.m.
Yeah, started about 5
And,
to
if we had a chance this weekend, I'd also
Oh,
love to
shit.
take you by Hearts Haven, because that was the
Is that the
perfect-
bookstore you
11
got?
away.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's space in the back.
Yeah.
It's a jazzercise room.
hectic
But
hotel.
Oh,
we've been
cool.
using it.
I
tiny
guess we
space,
should
we've been using
begin.
it for
huh?
shows.
Yeah,
but
we
also
have
found
to
it
sure
to
we
be-
begin. Let's
Oh, is it?
As a
let's
venue.
rock and roll,
Yeah,
guys.
just putting. Oh,
Here we go.
hello.
We're just
Yay.
gonna get a little music going on right here.
Ooh.
There we go.
Donut.
We got a little
Yeah,
volume
friends.
coming up. Everybody's up to rock and roll here.
Donuts?
Have donuts, please.
Donuts.
Donuts.
grab a
coffee,
virtual donut,
everything-
people.
Everybody in the world having a good time. So get ready to go. You guys ready to rock and roll? Have fun?
Yeah.
This is so informal, but it's okay. It's all good. So
It's nice.
we're gonna come to us, Marcel, first. Here we go, guys. Ready?
Okay.
And we're gonna play the music here, guys. I have to put my A here set on. All right. Hey guys, what's up? This is KP, the Marley Ocean, with Marcel Nunes. He's known as the Crazy Malaysian. So we got two Asian guys here at the salon. We are here just having a good time, just chilling out with some artists here.
And look, I'm just sucking all the light.
I know, jeez. I just know this is the feed of the Crazy Asian kind of
Yeah.
momentum going. But we ain't rich, but at least we're crazy. That works out, right? So,
Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Lounging at the Salon.
yes.
And this is our first broadcast from the salon.
Uh-huh.
And today we are featuring
Absolutely.
performers and the producer of the Mini Rogue Festival that happens at
Yes.
Fresno every year. The Mini Rogue is like a small Rogue
Yes.
to give you a taste of stuff. And let me introduce you first to Grant over here.
Hello, everybody. Yeah, the Mini Rogue. We also call it the Seattle to Fresno Mini Rogue because we used that name the first few years. We're still using both of them, but Mini
It's
Rogue.
all about branding.
Yeah, Mini Rogue connects it a little more in there, so that way we have our own identity. Plus, we can tell you what we are.
Okay, Grant, right off the bat, tell us how you came about to putting together the Mini Rogue.
I had already been coming
As I
out.
chomp on it.
Oh no, as we said, we're casual here. We got donuts. We're not going to wait. I had already been coming out to Rogue Festival for 2 to 3 years before Jane Day and I had set this up, and I had been asking people for a few years about doing a separate event. And you had already told me about some of the previous off-season events, the Rogue Year Round,
Yeah.
things like that. So there was already a bit of a legacy. Plus, I work with artists all year, helping them learn about fringe festivals and learn how to travel to them. So I'm in contact with a lot of people. At that point, like I said, it had only been 2 or 3 years of coming to Rogue. Now I've done 8 of them and 6 of this. This is essentially, though I live in Seattle, because there aren't many Northwest fests in the U.S. This is basically my home fringe.
Yeah.
So I wanted to do another one here. And kind of pestered people into it.
That's the way to do it.
Successfully, nobody was opposed. They were just
that's the way to do it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You get
nobody was
people to do
opposed. It was just
right?
the sure,
Yeah,
sure,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so you chose Fresno to do this, and tell us a little bit about you.
So, like I said, I work with artists through the year with Minion Productions. I have this on mainly for the game show tonight, not
Right.
just to brand here. But we generally, when we started out, we were touring with individual artists or a few different groups of artists to help them, and started learning a lot about the fest, and it really translated into now just keeping track of as many North American festivals as possible so that we can help artists learn about them. I go to as many as possible in person, but occasionally that knowledge is really helpful in helping co-produce events, work on production teams of small events, and that also just creates more dots on the map for the artists. Yeah.
So appreciative.
It's a good
Yeah.
thing. So it's I kind of travel around where I tell people my money in trade is meeting more people and getting more knowledge.
Right.
And people always know, as you have seen many times, that they'll come and ask me for stuff and say, well, what do you get from this? I'm like, well, you don't know this, but at half a year, I'm going to ask you for some huge amount of information and connect you to 5, 10 people. And the karma comes around for
And it's so
everybody.
nice having people like you that are really
Yeah.
in the
Oh,
know.
thank you.
Release this list every year of all the festivals.
Every
in
month.
which-
Yeah.
Yeah. In the season, it's sort
Yeah.
of like, here's what's open so far. Here's what you can apply to right now, which is so nice because I don't know if you know this, but artists are very disorganized constantly.
And the information is spread around. You could go to the American website of Fest, the Canadian website. There's a
Yeah.
World Fringe site, which is amazing, but it is generally one person who does an
Yeah.
amazing amount of work with a lot of help.
Sure.
So the information it takes some work to...
So do we want to go through the history of what the Fringe is, what Fringe Theater
Sure.
is?
Yeah.
Do you want to begin? Shall
Oh,
I
it's-
begin?
if you want to start a little bit too, I've got...
What was it? What year was it?
it was
47?
47.
1947. This is post World War II, and in Edinburgh, they decided to have a huge arts festival, an international arts festival. The idea was to kind of promote peace among the nations since it was post-war, and there were several groups that were basically shut out. And these rogue groups, notice where we got that from?
Good one.
Started their own
history.
festival at the same time called the Festival Fringe, the Edinburgh Festival Fringe.
On the fringe of
On the fringe of the main
the main
festival.
fest. Yeah.
And over the years, the Fringe has almost surpassed the main festival. In fact, there's the Fringe, there's the Fringe of the Fringe,
The Free
there's
Fringe,
of
which
the
is on
Fringe
the...
of the Fringe. And this has now become a worldwide phenomenon.
Over 250 fringe festivals in the
wow.
world, 70 to 80 in North America.
Yep. And so people always ask me, well, what's a Fringe festival? I said, well, think about it as the tapas or
It's like Netflixing theater.
yeah,
That's
see,
so great.
or dim sum of theater,
Yeah.
where
Dim
you
sum of
get to
theater.
I like the idea that dim sum is
Yeah.
is a piece of eclectic of
Yeah.
things.
That's a
wouldn't-
great tagline.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
you'll find later many of Marcel's shows are based around food and he
Yeah.
cooks here.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you again.
Yeah.
And so during a festival like this, you can get a sampling, actually more than a sampling, of the kind of stuff that's out there. Now, a lot of people don't realize that there are a lot of shows coming out of the fringe theater movement that have gone on to wider success. Drowsy's Chaperone being one of them. Which is now like a rep show in most theater companies.
Urinetown started Fringe
Urinetown
NYC.
started in
Yeah.
New York, and then the latest one has been Fleabag.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say, which is such an excellent.
Yeah,
show.
and Fleabag started off at the Edinburgh Fringe and then became a 6 episode TV series. Yeah, go to Amazon, check it out. It's probably one of the best things you're ever going to
Really
see.
good.
Little plug there, huh?
Yeah. She's my creative
Can I
crush.
Absolutely,
ask you
absolutely,
that
absolutely.
Sure.
the actor in the show,
Yeah.
in the television show, is not the same as the actor who created
It is.
It is.
It is?
Phoebe Waller-Bridge.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah, she
I
is.
heard
Her show.
rumor that it was a different person.
Not only
How did
that,
work?
she wrote the first season of Killing Eve.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
And is now doing the cleanup on the new Bond movie.
wow,
Nice.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
stories.
so, boom, like she says in interviews, she couldn't get arrested, and now boom, 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 boom,
Yeah.
And you know who she's going out with?
No.
Martin McDonough.
Yeah. Another big indie
Yeah.
person.
What, 3 Billboards and all those,
So,
yeah.
so
in
the
Bruges.
lesson is do a fringe show, and you will find the big fancy famous.
Oh,
people you
everybody.
like.
We all do.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
What's the other one we haven't talked about? The Rogue. It happens every year as people meet up, hook up.
Oh, getting your rogue on?
Yeah,
We
getting
spend
your,
a
the
lo-
hood. They'll get in your Rogue on.
We spend a lot of time together
Yes.
on the road.
Yeah.
and
Yes,
it's
absolutely.
It's a job that has a weird mixture of being very solitary and very social.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yes,
a weird
without
mix.
your own space. I always sort of
Yeah.
liken it to being back in high school where you're living at your parents' house and
Yeah.
you don't want to, you can't, come in
Yeah.
late or
Yeah.
invite all your friends over for a party, so you've got to kind of
Except
sneak
our
out.
parents change every 2 weeks
Yes,
in this
yes,
metaphor.
totally,
Yeah.
yeah.
I have new parents I got to get to know now.
Yeah, absolutely.
So now, for the local people who say, well, okay, that started off in Edinburgh, and
Yeah.
that started off in New York, or that, what has been premiered here that is now on Broadway or off Broadway? Barbara Brinkman,
Yeah.
for one,
yeah.
who else is there?
Not off Broadway New York stuff, but touring regional theaters in Canada and here. Sometimes the Wonderheads have
the
done
One Day
some
Heads
shows down
also
here.
started off here. Yeah.
And then several people, one of the other prestigious places that I would throw out that a lot of people here have also performed at, or not a lot, small handful
Right.
of magicians have performed at the Magic Castle.
Exactly.
Which is, for people
Yeah,
who know
yeah.
magic
Yeah.
stuff, that's a
That's
big
the
name.
big time.
I'm looking
So-
at the person that does some magic out of here. Yeah.
So so there's a lot of performance happening with festivals like the Rogue and fringe festivals like the Rogue,
Yeah.
and I've also likened it to this is the new version of vaudeville.
Yeah.
When you
Oh,
think
yeah.
about it,
Yeah.
where in the old days, you had a vaudeville circuit and all these acts, I mean, including people like Fred Astaire and
And it was original work done by the people
Yeah.
who created it.
Yep.
It was a mixture
Variety
of
of
folks.
mediums.
Yeah.
Local and touring. So many overlaps.
So so there's stuff happening here in Fresno, and there's stuff happening all over the place, and we have. Why don't you do the introduction to the
Yes.
artists here?
So, and then for the Mini Rogue, like most festivals, now this one is a smaller version of it, but most of the fringe festivals are a mixture of locals and out-of-towners, and it's a wonderful way for the town to show off its own people, but also to get to know others in there. Yeah, I don't need to be doubled up. I have enough trouble not projecting at times.
I gave this clown a microphone.
Wait a second. I don't know which one of us you meant,
I
the
know,
professional
I
or the
know.
metaphorical. Now, we try to mix in locals, out-of-towners, and all sorts of genres, all sorts of experience levels, and we do that even for the Mini Rogue. So we only have 5 shows, but it's 2 locals, 2 out-of-town groups, and 1 collaborative group with one of each. And we kind of switch that up a little bit every year. And I always try to make sure at least one of the shows, 2 this year, have never been to Fresno before. Never been for the Rogue, never been for Mini Rogue. It's always a bit of a gamble. You got to tell people, no, come see something new, though Rogue crowds are often into the new, the weird, the fun. But it's a good way to introduce people to new stuff and introduce new people to the city and hopefully get them back for Rogue.
Okay.
This year, we have 2 groups that are new, and one, though, I have worked with quite a bit for 5,
Long
6
time.
years.
Yeah, yeah.
Brought you out to the New Year's event we produced. Get to see you in
Several
Portland
times.
performing all the time.
Yeah, yeah.
Have lots of
You
video of it.
brought
Yeah.
your equipment to my porch. so we
Yeah,
could do a show off of my
An
porch.
actual variety show on her
Yeah.
porch with
Right.
Into the street. Yeah.
So, after all that preamble, I brought these 2 down because we love working with them and we love all the product that they create. So this is a little bit
Yeah,
off.
I saw the promo. It
Yeah.
looks great.
Oh, and if you
Thank you
haven't
so
yet,
much.
check it
You
out.
pulled I can grab the promo.
Oh, please do.
Yeah,
Let me
that'd
grab
be
that.
great.
You
So,
just talk about the show.
I'll let you 2 say what the company is, who you are, and everything. But a little bit off is coming down from Portland, Oregon, and we are really happy to have them
Yeah,
here.
we're really excited too. Yeah.
So I'm David.
I'm Amika.
We're a little bit off.
Yeah.
We used to say that
introduction.
at the end of our shows, we're a little bit off and not clarify that that's the company name. Because it's
We're like,
also just true.
Yeah, we just
Yeah.
saw your show, obviously.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, we know.
But
Yeah, so-
we're a physical comedy company from Portland, Oregon.
Yeah, and we're doing our latest show called Bad Habits, which is, I describe it as silly nuns on hoverboards. And it's really exciting for us because our previous 2 shows were pretty much dialogue free. And so this is still very physical, but we're having fun learning to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had described this to somebody, well, the other 2 are more acrobatic. This is less of a physical theater show. And then I remembered the show.
Yeah,
But like, this is
yeah,
the
yeah.
less physical.
It's less physical than our other shows, but still pretty all over the place.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, and I'm going to go ahead and let the elephant come out of the point to the elephant in the let the cat out of the bag. So
Spill the bean.
yeah,
Spill the cat.
all of those things. So we don't like to say it, but we're clowns. It's a clown
you're gonna
show.
do that.
I'm doing that.
Ooh, you went there.
Ooh,
Huh?
our audience just went to zero.
Real clown. Real clown.
Yeah.
But we're not bright wigs and big shoes.
Our
It's
shoes
not.
fit. That's all.
It's not that kind of a thing. It's absurdist comedy. It's physical in nature, and accessible to a wide range of ages and interests and demographics.
Yeah,
And,
it's just we're really dumb, and also we can see and talk to you because there's no fourth wall.
dumb in the best ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you want to come see what American culture and Western culture has done to real clowning, come see real clowns.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Not to gatekeep clowning, but
No.
we're the real clowns.
So
Everyone else
what's the
is.
premise? What's the premise of your show?
So it's I play the Mother Superior of a convent, and
Sister Florence.
Sister Florence, and
And I'm a new novitiate.
we're
That's actually
the entire audience is welcomed as the potential novitiates, and then we select one to possibly join our convent.
And usually it's me.
Almost every time.
Although in this show last year we were touring all summer, and I started to get a little bit bored and wily, and started throwing tricks in to surprise David. And at one point, I think I paraded 12 people from different shows through our show by sneaking them in the back door, and they all came out and said my
Yes.
line one at a time, and then left,
Nice. Very
which was
nice.
great because David doesn't crack very easily, but he cried that night.
That's amazing.
So that was great. And then he got me back once by bringing somebody else on stage instead of me. When my name was called, it was Lindsay Taylor went up
Yes,
and I was
that's
like,
beautiful.
I was like, I'm the one that pranks
Yeah.
you. What's
The
happening?
producer of the Orlando franchise.
Yes.
Yes, yeah.
Newly
She's great.
put in.
She's
That's going to
so
be
great.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, how long have you guys done this particular show for?
So we debuted this show a year ago, last May or April.
Yeah, it's been about a year and a half, I'd say.
Okay.
Yeah.
We've done it in, I don't know, 6 or 7 festivals so far. So it's somewhat seasoned, but also the show is structured to remain fresh always. There's room for improvisation for us, and yeah.
Okay. Top 3 reasons to see your show.
Laughter is the best medicine.
Oh my god. It's stuff that you will never see anywhere else.
Okay.
I feel that we play with the audience. We're all having fun together and playing a game in a not scary way where you're comfortable in your seats and we're the ones, So I feel like if you just want to turn off your brain, you can do that, but you can also still be involved,
Yeah, there's no forced audience participation. It's not immersive theater in that way, and yet everybody is part
And yet
of
it's
what's
happening
going
all
on.
around
Right.
you.
Yeah,
and if
So
you,
that's 2.
Oh,
Oh,
Third one.
He's keeping track. See,
I'm
he's
keeping track.
pretty precise there.
you will get snacks.
Ah, that's
Well, there you go. That's the big seller right
There you go.
there.
There you go. I was like,
Nice.
donuts, what got me here? Let's see.
Right.
and
Yeah.
I'd say for people who've, well, these two are new here, for people who have been to the Mini Rogue or the Rogue and seen other groups from out of town, I would say if you've enjoyed Chris Bange's clowning work, a Box of Clowns,
Right.
Yeah, who are our good friends
yeah.
back in Portland.
absolutely, who've worked with a fair amount,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wonderheads from several years ago, Grumble Productions.
Yep.
Any of those groups, it's unique to any of those because all of those groups are unique to each other. But if you enjoyed any of those styles, you would enjoy this.
Right.
Yeah.
And hey, who knows? I mean, as an audience member, you could come in, see the show, and in a couple of years, if the show takes off, you could say,
I was there first.
Yeah.
I was there
basically,
when.
if you want to be like a theater hipster and be
Yeah.
like,
exactly.
I saw them before they were cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a key word.
There you go.
And a fun thing that for us about this show that's hard to explain is that I think people see that it's sort of like a religious themed comedy show and they think it's going to be really aggressively rude.
Pointed.
Yeah. And
Either aggressively religious or aggressively anti-religious.
yeah, and
it's-
that's not our point at
No.
all. We're trying to play some silly characters within the context of this world, and we've gotten a lot of great feedback from actual Catholic fans.
Clergy
Right.
members.
Yeah, who are really into it. So
Well,
that's hard for us
I
to
was-
say because you don't believe it.
I was
until-
brought up Catholic.
Oh yeah, I mean, I went to Catholic school. That's
Yeah.
where a lot of the
Yeah.
stuff comes from. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so now if your show was a tapas or dim
Oh,
sum,
okay.
what would it be?
Nice description there.
Oreos.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know if that counts. But I know what I would want it to be.
Okay.
Are you
Which
just going
is-
to talk about your favorite food?
Yes.
Like no connection to the show. just,
that I can't eat anymore because
okay, I know what you're going to say. I know exactly what you're going to say.
barbecue pork buns.
Oh,
Really?
yeah.
I thought you were going to talk
Oh.
about those dumplings
Oh
with
yeah,
the soup
or
in it.
xiaolong bao, soup
Yeah.
dumplings.
Oh, so good.
Yeah, because it's like nurturing on a deep fundamental level, like deep in your soul, but it's also tasty and makes you feel good.
I like you just pick your favorite food and then try to make it about the show.
Don't give away my secrets.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay, well, that's a good
Nice.
thing to know. So, if you're in the mood for the char siu pao of shows, this is the show to come see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Great.
Or Oreos.
Oh, Oreos.
And
Yeah.
I have a question I wanted to ask
Sure.
you because I was asking this in videos last year and didn't this year. What other show in the Mini Rogue this weekend are you most excited to see?
That's hard when it's such a small lineup.
There's
because
only
Yeah.
It's like,
five.
yeah.
That's all right.
Well,
We're not
to be
asking you what you
honest,
don't want to see. Yeah.
Our really good friend Grums
Yes.
is here,
Yeah.
and that's someone that we love to spend time with, but haven't seen their latest solo show. And I was there for part of the development of it because we happen to be in the same sort of incubation space. So I was
Yeah.
seeing them start to work on ideas about it, and I'm really, really excited to see.
And that was the
Something
Lookout
in
Arts
the Water.
Quarry, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Quarry.
Sorry, Something in the Water is
Something
the show.
in the Water is the name of the show. Yeah.
I'm really excited about
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Nobody here has seen it, including the touring artists, because it's only been in
fresh.
Saskatoon. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's great.
You still looking for the promo, man?
I do have a video of them already.
Oh, okay.
It's ready up to go. Let's just kind of show what they have here. Look here.
Okay, and then
Okay.
here comes
Yeah.
Tina.
Here we go. We're gonna show Livia.
So you know we are doing a live
Here we go, see?
podcast at the
Going
moment.
live.
So you could sit on the edge, or you could come join us for a second.
Oh, this is-
Yeah.
Come sit here. Then.
Get some,
David.
get some
Here
coffee.
we are,
Yeah.
a little bit off.
That's
Yeah,
our
the
company.
grant.
Yes,
It's also
Go around
distributed.
What is the
coffee.
name
Maybe we
of your
shouldn't talk
show?
over our own
It's
interview.
called Bad Habits.
I almost said that's a different show. Bad Habits.
It's called Bad Habits, yeah.
And if you had, as you do, just 20 seconds to tell us what your show is about and why we would want to see it, what would you tell us?
20
like how
seconds.
you're
there's
standing
dumb
directly
nuns
under the
on
nose of this
hoverboards, and it's
meal.
really.
I was going to say nuns on
I was
hoverboards.
going to say that, yeah, it's really funny. It's a great sort of comedic piece with silly nuns.
You're a
Pretty
big booger.
absurdist, sort of slapstick comedy.
Not offensive.
There it is. That was pretty good.
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
that was after our rehearsal
Yeah.
yesterday.
See,
Yeah.
we come with promos and everything here.
yeah.
You know, we have fancy operation, man.
Exactly.
Trying to be in a fancy operation. You know, we're trying to first one. It's not too bad.
We tour around to fringe festivals. Our level of fancy is
Now, KP does a podcast called SS Lounge, SNS?
SS Lounge. Yes.
SS Lounge. So basically, we are lounging in the salon today.
Yeah. Keeping it sexy and spicy.
That's right.
That is a key word.
I don't know. It's double sexy and double spicy because
It's
we have two
always-
Asians here.
I know. Jeez.
We also try to do our own podcast, but we just press record on our MacBook and just ramble for
Right.
about
For
30
30
minutes.
That's great.
Okay,
That's great.
I've got a question for each of you.
Yes.
One, what made you decide on theater? Okay. And two, what nearly stopped you from doing it?
Ooh, that's a good one. Well, I mean, are we going in order?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's go in order.
Me first.
Yeah.
Ready to go.
And then
All right.
look in that camera.
Oh,
too,
okay.
yeah.
I'll look right at it.
Yeah.
So, I was in school at PSU in Portland, Oregon, and then I decided, just kind of spontaneously, that I was going to drop out and go to clown school in San Francisco instead, much to the I don't want to say disappointment, but concern
Chagrin?
of my father. Yeah, it's
Yes.
like it's not the idea that maybe sounds most promising to a lot of parents, I'd say. But for me, it was the decision that sort of changed everything, and now I'm on this track, and I don't regret it at all. And it's the best thing I ever did. So, yeah.
And what
Clown-
almost
clown
stopped you?
school.
And
What
what
almost
almost
stopped
stopped you?
me? So this is my foot. There's a dead bone in there. And my bone
That's
died.
indicated.
Yeah, there's a tattoo about it. That's why I held it up. My bone died, and it really hurt all the time, and it still does. And I kind of thought, uh-oh, I've made the wrong choice because I was doing a lot of acrobatic stuff, and suddenly I was able to do less of it. So that was a scary moment. But it turns out then you find a workaround, and then you do different stuff, and that becomes
Yeah.
your humor and comedy. And
You have a zombie bone.
it all
And
works out.
next,
So growing up, I never really fit into the American education system so well. I did fine in school, but never wanted to do the homework and stuff like that. But I was always addicted to learning like physical skills, so learning to juggle or learning to do like sideshow acts, eat glass or breathe fire, all those kind of things. And so I dropped out of college after a semester and started bumming around sort of and got involved with an artistic community. And met some circus people, and they were like, if you're taking this seriously, you should go to circus school. And so I moved to San Francisco and started studying circus, and in that process started studying clown. And in learning about clown, I realized that I enjoyed connecting with the audience on an emotional level way more than like doing some tricks and them going, wow, like, and so my focus shifted from some skilled. I'm getting a little echo over here. That's like speech jamming, but yeah. So I changed my focus from skilled-based performance to clown, trying to make people laugh and bring them joy. And
And then what happened to
can I air person? So Amika and I were on tour in Australia and New Zealand. A year ago, last January and February, and we used to be both artistic partners and romantic partners. And during that tour, 4 days before we were going to go from Australia to New Zealand to tour around New Zealand in the back of a camper van together,
Romantic trip.
we had a romantic falling out, and that portion of our relationship ended, and then we continued to spend 2 weeks in a tight, confined spaces together. And
Yeah, I mean, having a theater company together is like having a baby in some ways, you know?
Yeah.
So now it's like, well, we're breaking up, but we still have this thing. What's going to happen to it? And it's fine. No.
yeah, so that was probably the closest to like walking away from theater and being like, I never want to do this again.
But here you are.
Yeah.
And remember, how long have you still been performing and
it's been
creating
a-
shows since then?
Like a little over a year since then. Yeah.
Year and a half. Yeah.
Year and a half. Yeah.
That's amazing.
see, you get the good juicy stuff here.
Yeah.
All the hurrahs.
Yeah. And what about you, Grant?
I've been doing theater stuff in general since middle school, started more in high school, but was already doing the production and administrative side. Did a district-wide class in the afternoon where you went and did internships. So early on there was a chance of perhaps staying on this production side as well. And but I did in 20s make part of my money from doing comedies and musical theater, because if you're a male and can sing, you can at least get
You're a hot
roles.
commodity.
I'd like to think I got a little more than that, but you can, can do okay. But mainly it was like you were both saying, a little bit of way to express ourselves and get ideas across to other people and see how they reacted to that, see the I was going to just say joy it brought them, and really whatever emotion, see that it could cause emotion and reaction in people. And we kind of jokingly, but not really jokingly, one of the things that I say a lot, and we say a lot to each other, is that if we were good at expressing ourselves in a normal mainstream way, we wouldn't do this.
Yeah.
But most of us are surprise introverts to the people that aren't artists. They think we're really
let's face it,
outgoing.
we're all mutants.
Yeah.
That's what
They
it comes
think we're
down
just
to.
gregarious and big everywhere, and we feel like, no, that I can express myself there.
Yeah.
Because we're
Then I
not.
go home and read a book alone.
A few of us are.
No, yeah, there are some.
Not
Yeah.
myself.
No, not many. Most of us just kind of sit inside in other places and feel like I want to go express myself a different way. I have almost quit in the past to do other work. One of the other things that gets said a lot by theater people is if you can do something else, do it. And that's partly just to make sure you have the commitment to do something that's going to be highly difficult. And when I did have to give up early childhood education, working with kids full-time, there was a decision process to be had. Because I had gone from full-time to part-time to just subbing, and I tour enough now that I couldn't do even that. And that there was a good month or so there of not sure which direction that would go.
Well, let's tell the folks where this is happening, when this is happening, all those details.
Absolutely. So all 5 shows are in the same venue for this, which is one of the fun things. You can just show up, stick around, hang out with us, and we're all in the back room at the Review Coffee Shop on Olive in the Tower District, which is a regular Rogue venue and where we have always been for this. And before we go through all of it, your show times.
Our show times. I might be wrong about this, but I believe it's Saturday at 9:30 and Friday at 4:30.
And I believe the Saturday is actually at 9 o'clock.
Okay, thank you. Saturday at 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
Ooh, we have the sound of garbage trucks
Nice.
too.
But we do start up tonight, Friday, the 20th at 6 o'clock with the local dance group. Have 3 shows tonight and our special one-off, only one performance of my live game show that I've done at Rogue for 4 years, which we're using.
Tell them about Fringe Factor.
Fringe Factor, live game show featuring artists from the event. Every one of our 5 shows is represented. Plus, we have a team on there where I host. Mostly it's me trying to get attention over the loud noises everybody is making, so the garbage truck is perfect right now, trying to keep some control.
Practicing.
And luckily I have a team of Strangely, who plays music for us.
I think
wouldn't
you're
say
one of your lovely assistants.
I wouldn't
is
say
here.
that Strangely helps keep control in any situation, but he's lovely to have there. But who does help me keep control is my friend Megan, who is over here. Do you want to come say hello real quick? Who just showed up during this and just came in and will be our partner in crime, sidekick, helping me keep some control.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And what are the other shows? Now, we've heard about 2
So
shows.
the Change happening tonight is a local dance group. I've got stuff on. Thank you. Local dance group with 4 different choreographers presenting different pieces that are based around the theme of change. Really fun piece with a lot of good local people to check out. It's Strangely Mannix is our collaborative show, and that is Strangely doing music and some magic stuff, along with local magician Tim Mannix, who tours all over the States, has toured to other festivals, wonderful magician. Outside of that, the next one tonight is Blake Jones, local musician, works with the Trike Shop and also solo work.
Also an original founding member of the Rogue.
Absolutely. He's been around the whole time doing a show called Make, which is also the title of one of his albums.
Yeah.
And it's not just music, also storytelling on the theme of when life is just continually hitting you down, what do you do? And for him, that's Make.
That's big.
Look, actually, we got some videos. I want to show.
Yeah, you know what?
Show a little bit.
Tell you what. Which one is this one?
This is the dance. They're all.
Okay,
videos.
so we're gonna show you some promos from the shows that are coming up.
And really quickly for that, Something in the Water, which we discussed earlier, is the 5th of those. So you will see stuff from all 5. Yeah.
Here we go.
Hello, everybody. I have been doing interviews with all of our 2019 Seattle to Fresno Mini Rogue artists. So can you just introduce
Because that's not
yourself?
in.
Well, this is Ms. Unique Slater.
And this is Zachary Vince Garcia,
And what is the name of your show?
The Change.
Man, because you do, if you only had 20 seconds to tell us what that show is about and why you should see
So
it,
when you
what would
come
you
out
tell us?
I would say that our show is about exactly what it's titled, The Change. So think of things in your life or in society or things that come to mind that you'd like to change. It could be something small to something large, and this is just our expression of things that we'd like to see change in the world.
Absolutely.
That is wonderful. Now, we have always had a dance group in the Mini Rogue, and we have had
Yes.
many dance groups in the full Rogue, but this group is new for us. Can you tell us the name, first of all, of the dance company?
Revive Dance Company.
Wonderful, and where else do you perform?
You know what? We recently just did a performance with Fresno City. We did National Dance Day. We also do things with Roosevelt in their Dance Studio D department situation. We do stuff here and to and fro. So we're kind of everywhere. And now we're here with you. Yeah.
We're a performance-based group. We do offer weekly classes here and there, so we do have a little bit of education that we give to the community.
Absolutely.
We also do a lot of outreach, speaking of Roosevelt, so we do a lot of donating of performances to different groups or different schools. We really try to bring a wide range of the community together to celebrate dance.
That is wonderful. Thank you. And then one question that I have been asking everybody. Why should people come out to the 2019 Seattle to Fresno Mini Road?
I feel like people should come because there's something for everyone. There's dance, there's theater, there's comedy, there's a game show on Friday night.
Be there.
Be there, I'll be in it, so you get to see me do some fun stuff. But there's a little bit of something for everyone, so it's a kind of a cool way to experience all different forms of art, but also too, if you're itching for the Rogue Festival, we're halfway there, so you have to wait all the way until the end of February and March. But if you're wanting to see some fringy kind of things, definitely come out and see this, for
You
sure.
will not regret it. You will not leave the way that you came.
Exactly.
You will be laughing, crying,
You will
telling
be,
your neighbor
pun
about
intended,
something.
changed.
Thank you, everybody, and we will see you this weekend.
Zachary Garcia and Ms. Unique Slater. Zach brought us the dance show for this year, and Ms. Unique is running that project. That was The
And-
Change.
And what's next, KP? Which is the next promo?
We get the one. What's the one with this right here? So we just gotta be a surprise.
Oh, okay.
It's always a surprise, right? That's the best part.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. We are doing interviews with our 2019 Mini Rogue artists, so you can get to know them. Can you two introduce yourselves?
Yes, I'm Tim Mannix.
My name is Strangely Duesberg.
And what is the name of your 2019 Mini Rogue show?
Oh, it's called It's
Strangely
Strangely Mannix.
Nice. And say we gave you no more than 30 seconds to tell us what that show is about and why people would want to see it. What would you tell us?
It's a potpourri of not just music, but magic and comedy, unparalleled south of Shaw here in Fresno.
Yeah, it's pretty much the best musical comedy magic show you can see at Review this week.
Exactly. That is a fact.
Yeah.
And now you're both veterans of both the Rogue and the Mini Rogue. You've
Right.
both done those before. So, if people are going to come out and see this show, what are they going to see from you that they haven't seen before?
Nina. Sorry, that's my dog. They're not going to see that dog, but they are going to see some magic that I have either never performed or not performed in many years. And they're going to see Strangely.
It's my
Little known
first
fact.
professional magic show, like in a place where people aren't drunk. So I'm
He's a music guy.
very nervous.
So magic at this level is not something you're used to. Is it pretty
Yeah,
fair to
I'm
say?
very nervous.
I'm excited to see that myself.
Yeah.
And as a broader question, why should people come out to see the Mini Rogue?
Well, number one, it's fun. Number one, it's probably the best thing happening this weekend in Fresno. I don't know if that's a
It's
stretch.
the best thing happening this weekend in Fresno, not involving queer film.
That's exactly right. That's right. If you're going to the festival.
Yeah, the Real Pride Festival is
That's-
also. But
that's right.
it's a miniature fringe festival, so there's like a huge variety of stuff happening.
Right.
There's theater and dance
Right.
and whatever the heck.
Our show's like 2 shows in one, but we're just one of 5, actually 6 different shows that are happening. So it's like a little mini festival in 3 days. So it's worth every nickel.
Oh yeah.
That is great. And you had something else
Tim,
to show?
do you have any tips for me on how to loosen up a little bit? I'm just so nervous about this.
He's nervous.
I'm really nervous.
All right, so think of yourself as not as a musician doing magic, but as a magician making your own sort of music with the magic.
Uh-huh.
I mean, look, if you just look at us physically, it's just maybe just me, I'm a little more relaxed than you are. You're a little, I mean, you look nice, I gotta tell you.
Thank you.
Entirely employable.
Dressed to impress.
It's
right?
true. But I would recommend, this is just me, that you loosen up a little.
Okay.
So, you don't have to dress down. Hang on just a second. I would undo this.
Mhm.
Take that out. Can you undo that? Yeah. And maybe another one. Little sex symbol. Are these? Those are. Okay. So there's air flowing.
Yeah.
The collar. The collar. I would consider about putting that up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's too much. That is way too much. Okay, put your arms out a little. Relax. Okay. This because it's not the jacket. It's the shirt that's getting me. If I take that, that's it. And then pull that off. That's a better look. It's a little more relaxed. And then that will make it work a little better. And then I'll dress up a little, and we'll meet somewhere in the middle.
That sounds good.
I like it.
Thank you both so much.
see magic you didn't have to pay for.
Nice.
And who was that?
That was great. So that was Strangely and Tim Mannix. That's our collaborative show with a local and an out-of-towner performing together, and they're doing a show that is very aptly titled It's Strangely Mannix.
I see.
With magic, music, busking tricks, all sorts of fun things.
Any other promos we have today?
Yes, we do. We have next one is the Blake.
Oh, Blake, yeah.
Nice.
So, we'll get Blake here.
Oh, everybody, I have been doing interviews with our 2019 Mini Rogue artists. Can you tell everybody your name?
I am Blake Jones.
And what show are you doing in the
I have a
Mini
show called Make.
And if you only had, because you do, 20 seconds to tell us what that show is about and why people would want to see it, what would you say?
I would say it's a story about optimism versus the world. And when the world keeps kicking you, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? And my best response has been to make.
I love that description. It makes me want to see it. So, you have been involved with Rogue many times. You play in town a lot. What will the crowds here see from you that they haven't seen before?
It's the same old rubbish. I just got to say. It's the same, if you've seen it. No, well, there's at least 2 brand new songs that I've never... If you come tomorrow night, or I don't know how this is going to... Tomorrow, if that means anything on the internet. If you come Friday night, you'll hear a song. There's 2 songs that have never, ever been played for people before. And if you come Saturday night, you'll hear 2 songs that have only been played for one audience before. So there you go.
That is a great answer for that. And one question I've been asking everybody, why should people come to the Seattle to Fresno Mini Rogue?
Well, it's a chance to see a great wide variety of performers, both local and from up and down the West Coast, and something you can't see in Fresno every night.
That's great. Thank you, and we will see you this weekend.
Yes.
Still, Blake can stay. Right,
All we have to do is freeze the video.
I know.
So that
It's a living statue.
who we're making fun of currently a little bit there, but we love dearly, is Blake Jones doing the show Make, which is a mixture of music and storytelling on a theme, and I am very excited to catch that.
Very cool. Yeah, Blake's a good guy. So come out, and a talented musician. In fact, he is releasing a new song, I think, tonight. I think his record label is releasing a new song tonight.
And he pointed out in there that there's going to be 2 songs nobody's heard.
Right. So there you go. And what's the next promo here?
Let's get this. Where'd he go?
Hello, everybody. Grant Knutson here with my friend Strangely. We are here to bring you one more notice about the Fringe Factor Rent Check edition, happening this weekend as part of the 2019 Mini Rogue Festival. So, we are going to have one representative, at least from all 5 of our Mini Rogue shows, playing visiting artists versus touring artists. And if you've seen the show before, this may surprise you, but it may be just a tad more chaotic than usual. We are using this game show to pay our rent so that all the other ticket sales for the weekend can go directly to the artists. In that spirit, we are going to offer bribery on a scale we have never offered before. Along with all our regular ways to make points for the artists, you can literally just buy points for your team. Strangely, can you explain the formula for us?
Yeah, it's very simple. You see, $1 buys 1 point, $5 buys 5 points, $10 buys 11 points, and $20 buys 19 points.
So, come on out Friday, 10:15 at the Review to help us pay our rent. Thank you, everybody, and we will see you soon.
And the stillness continues.
Yes, but we're moving here. It's okay. So that was my show, which we are only doing one time just to help us pay the rental cost for the venue, so all the tickets can go to them.
I'm not sure the math checks out on all that.
Well, we let the busker do the math on that one. I promise when you guys get paid, it will be the teacher that did that. Yeah. I'll also warn you, she's not a math teacher, the co-producer of this. But that will just be tonight. We're only doing that one time, and we could really use both the energy and the generosity for that.
Very good. And are there more promos? Or?
Yeah, there's Let's get to talking.
You know what?
Share.
Yeah.
Just talk.
Well, I heard something last night, so we've never been here. We've never seen the Fringe Factor, done the Fringe Factor, but last night, Grant, you mentioned that there's a possibility that we would not have pants.
In the past, there's been a time, I don't think it's been Megan yet, but somebody on the team has variously in different cities in different years ended up without pants. More often, strangely, but it has been me once or twice. So what we were saying is there's the distinct possibility, we don't expect to make all of the rental from this, but if we did magically reach that number, that one or more of the production team for this might perform the rest of the show without pants.
See.
So
So
it's
really
not
up
quite
to
a
them.
full Monty. It's
No. It's
partially,
we're not going to legally get thrown out of this venue, Monty.
Right. Yeah.
That still might show that we are all Northwesterners who don't get a lot of sun.
But remember, when someone takes clothes off on stage, it's polite to tip them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
That's.
it sounds like that possibility is up to the audience, right? Because it's
Oh.
if we make that
Yeah.
amount.
Yeah, I mean, how much do you want to see my legs, Stranger's
Yeah,
legs?
our
We haven't even
horrible
discussed this
blue
possibility
veins
with
coming
Megan, so
I mean,
we.
you can see all my tattoos.
yes. There, Megan would be the most entertaining of all of us to see because it just adds to the story. So really, we'll see. Thank you for bringing that up. That's a good reminder.
I mean,
We hadn't,
I was curious.
We hadn't said that anywhere publicly, just at the
I'm
unofficial
sorry.
stand. No, it's a good thing. It's a good
backstage
thing.
to any of the artists who've
No,
never
we
been here
found-
before.
Well, yeah,
found
we
that
try to
out.
tell you guys as little as possible
Yes.
about the game show.
I noticed that.
But it's so simple.
Do I have to eat a spider?
That
I
you
thought we were
don't
gonna have to eat bugs.
have to do anything. But
But is it? Is there bug eating involved?
there hasn't been yet.
Fear factor moment.
It's such simple party style games because if the games aren't simple, it becomes about keeping up with them and not seeing the personality
I can
of
vouch
the
for the
artist.
fact that there's no urine chugging in his show.
He can vouch for the fact that there has never yet been
urine chugging.
No, simple. The games need to be simple. Their total amount of time we are playing games in like 10 minutes or less.
Drinking urine isn't very complicated.
No.
Simple. You pee in a cup, you drink it.
It's how it comes out. That's the tricky part.
Notice I did not start this topic on the game show on here. This is purely, let's say, organic. Let's go for that, not a pun.
Let me ask you a question. Why Fresno? Why do you want to come here and do these shows?
A lot of the touring artists, people that haven't been here for Rogue ask that a lot. People who hear us talk about it, and you two have heard us talk about this for a long time. Megan heard us talk about Rogue and Fresno for a long time before coming out, and there is a reputation among the fringe touring artists to Fresno and to Rogue. And a lot of people who live here know that there is some reputation to Fresno outside of that, and a lot of it is that people either know very little or there is some bad reputation out there about the city.
A lot of jokes.
And what I tend to say about any city is that it takes 5-10 years after a city changes before the reputation changes, because it has to get out to the psyche. But for us, it has been different. What we tell people is the crowds here were friendly. There are more people I just chat with online, talk to on the phone here that I've met at this festival than any other festival I have been to. They aren't just contacts from that festival, friends from that festival, they're my friends. There are people here who come out. Sorry, I get really passionate about this because we really like coming here. The audiences here will try new things, try weird things, they welcome people in, and they do really like their familiarity. They like any festival anywhere of, I know that person, I want to see their new thing, but new people feel welcome here, and it doesn't take long for people to feel like they belong here. Would you say that's true as well, Megan?
And we also want to encourage you, if you're coming out to, in fact, when you come out to the Mini Rogue, bring a friend of 3, especially those who have never been out to either the Rogue or the Mini Rogue.
We'd like to make some new friends.
Because we need to raise those percentages up.
And I will say that in our experience, we haven't heard many of these Rogue being the butt of the joke. We've
Oh,
had
not
many
Rogue
friends.
usually, Fresno.
Oh,
So-
Fresno.
yeah.
Okay, because we've
Fresno.
had so many friends
Yeah.
come down here to do shows, and they're always talking about how great it is. And so,
Yeah.
you know, we just haven't been fast enough in our applications up until
Yeah,
now.
and it's not
So-
first come first serve anymore. So
which
now
is
I can,
which is great because we are very, like
Yeah.
I said,
Yeah,
disorganized.
they had to change that 3 years
It
ago.
got so popular.
Like within 5 minutes,
Yeah.
right? They crashed the website.
Yeah.
So they changed it to lottery just to
Well, we've officially applied this year, so we'll
Nice.
see. We'll see.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's great.
So but this one, this is the mini one. It's kind of introduced some of the performers, which is great for
Get
them
new
to come
people in. Yeah.
They got to get the feel of taste for the big
Yeah.
shebang that's coming up in what was it, March?
It's March, yeah. March 6th, I think it opens.
Yeah. First 2 weekends of March every year, which could include just a day or two of February sometimes, but not this year.
Not this year, yeah.
But yeah, it's for the artists coming in. It's just a little taste of what we're talking about of the vibe, and for the audience, the whole point was to have a different crew running this so that the main Rogue producers can just be paying attention to that because it's a lot, and to keep the audience paying attention to this kind of art.
And right now, application period is still open
Till
for
the 30th?
next year's festival until the 30th.
Yeah.
So if you're a local performer and you want to strut your stuff on stage, now's the time to
Get
go
in
to
here.
FresnoRogueFestival.com and find the application page and do it.
Nothing like a deadline to get that new show
Yes.
finished.
Yeah.
Deadlines
That's how
are
it
amazing.
Let's,
six
let
to
me
the
talk about,
13th.
you know, you guys do a show, but how about new show as you develop? Like, how do you guys come with the idea after you finish a festival?
Yeah.
And there's tons of festivals you guys go to. Now, like, okay, assessment. What is it like? Do I bring back the same show for next year, or I want to try out something new,
Yeah.
or go to somewhere else to test it out before you actually perform? I know you guys probably circuit around a lot of the
Yeah.
festivals.
So that's a
What's your process? What do you guys feel?
That's
about
a great question. Yeah,
multiple questions, I think, to answer.
Yeah. We live in Portland, but don't actually perform in Portland super often. I said Portland strange. I'll just acknowledge that. Portland. But we'd like to test out little bits of material there and then sort of stitch a show together from smaller acts. And then, some fringes are better to try out your new stuff, and some of them you want to have something solid before you go in.
I saw pieces of this particular show over all of the year before that, and a lot of those little pieces didn't get in, or some didn't change, or some were right there. But at the variety shows and such in Portland, I saw that show get put together.
In these little variety shows around town. Yeah.
Because so the work we do is devised. It's like we don't like sit down and like write a script. We like have a rehearsal space and we bring in props and we play and then filter it down and refine it into its final form. And so our process is particularly long. It usually takes us like between 5 and 7 months to make a new show. But we've been conceiving our next show that we're building. It's going to be a horror themed comedy, which is going to be a fun kind of
spooky.
genre mashing sort of thing.
Yeah, with this last show, the show that we're doing here, Bad Habits, for a long time I just had this image in my head of nuns on hoverboards cruising around very holy and gliding, and I just thought that image was funny, and it kind of grew from there.
Yeah, and we argued about it a lot. The beginning of our process often is being like, "No, let's do my idea. No, let's do my idea." And then
I was fighting hard for nuns on hoverboards, and I got it. So now I'm gonna have to relent a little bit, and then let's whatever you get to kind of pick the next thing.
And to go back to your question about deciding like when you do a same circuit over and over again, and you're going back to the same festivals, how do you decide to build a new show or bring back something? It's such an overwhelming prospect to a lot of these festivals. They want the audiences want to see the same thing over and over again. So like maybe like we have like 3 shows that we can tour right now, and we've like cycled them sometimes and gone back a couple years later with the same show. But even then, the audience was like, we've kind of seen it before.
Yeah.
So
they want something new.
Fringe has that pressure to constantly create. So this year we really took pretty much the whole summer off of touring, and
Also because of breaking up, which you already admitted.
we this is the only Fringe-esque festival that we're doing this summer.
So there was like 10 people.
No, there's more than that. But
No, it was
we
in a
knew
small.
most of them.
It was
Yeah.
like a living room show, at our friend's space. It was really fun.
Fun performer who just did San Francisco Fringe, who came out to catch you, James Sundquist, just sent a message while we're doing this saying, "Oh, they were great."
Yeah, ran into him there. That's
So
great.
another question, because we're both actors, or I do coachings. I've worked with a lot of actors. it's the question I always ask people is like, what inspired you? What made you get into this crazy business called entertainment? We all know the struggles, the hard. What keeps you guys going as artists?
Yeah.
And what can you like kind of motivate other people as well too?
Sure. Yeah. Well, we met in San Francisco at the Circus Center, where David had gone to clown school and I was in clown school, and we sort of cobbled together this crazy idea to run around Europe trying to do a street show, which we were pretty bad at. We do better at indoor theater, for sure. But yeah, it was fun to sort of talk about our inspirations and sync up, like, have you seen the video of this guy's show where, he's got the big crazy fabric swooshing around, and
Yeah. We take a lot of inspiration from the silent film era, from the Buster Keaton, Harold Lloyd, Charlie Chaplin, Keystone Cops, all of those people, and then with this show in particular, getting into dialogue and building off of that history of vaudeville comedy, bringing in people like Abbott and Costello and being inspired by their sort of banter. But then with modern people, because we tour these festivals so much, seeing just contemporary clowns and physical comedians. Coming to mind right now is
Bill
Eric.
Irwin?
What?
Yes,
Bill
Bill Irwin.
Always
So
an
great.
inspiration.
We were
Got
fortunate
to
enough
see
to
old hats.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah, so him
David
and-
Shiner
him and David
Bill
Shiner,
Irwin.
yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Or from a fringier direction, and not quite clown, but Buffon, a genre very associated with clown. Eric Davis, Red Bastard.
Or I would say Deanna Fleischer is amazing, and I just did a clown workshop with her for a whole week this summer. That was awesome.
And while we're saying nice things about Deanna, she also was coaching and helping build up something in the water, which is happening this weekend.
Yeah, she's a fantastic coach and an amazing physical comedian and teacher, and so we learn a lot just from watching our friends' stuff, and that's a really cool exchange to be in a peer group and also seeing what people are doing. It's really lovely.
With you being a producer, how the heck did you find all these people? How did you get to rope them in to come down?
Well, like I was saying earlier, my catch and trade as I go around is people and knowledge. And by that, what I try to get is the knowledge. Going to the festivals is mostly to learn more about them because I can sit at home and get the stats and I can meet people and hear about them. But the way I compare it is it would be like reading a Wikipedia page about Seattle or going to Seattle. The difference in getting the vibe, meeting the folks. So I get to as many as possible, and then meeting the people is a good way to connect folks later, but it also just gives me a better idea of who is doing what. I do try to get to cities outside of the festivals. Portland's a big one because it is such an easy drive from Seattle, and there is a small handful of touring fringe performers in Seattle, and a large handful, a bucket full of touring fringe performers in Portland. So I drive down there quite a bit to see new work, try to keep up with what might be coming next year. San Francisco's another place for that. At the Exit Theater, at Stageworks for Solo Sundays, see what's going to be touring next year. But it's getting on the road and going out and meeting people in person is always the best way. Though there are some times that people will send people my way and say they want to learn about touring, have a chat. Yeah.
Another one I want to know is where can we find you? Social medias, website, you can check out the work, or if you do have social medias.
We definitely have social media. Our website was hacked a few months ago, and we're not web developers, designers, but we're trying to be because we can't afford to pay someone to do it. So we had a beautiful website. It was hacked and destroyed. Everything was corrupted, and we're starting over. So if you go to our website, you'll just see a horrible page that's like under construction, and that honestly might be that way for a while. But you can find us on Instagram, on Facebook, _little_bit_off on Instagram and Twitter.
And a little bit off clowns on Facebook.
Yeah. We also have a Patreon. That's like a thing people are doing. We were very late to the game with that, but that's where we do our podcast.
I signed up when they first began. I still haven't done anything.
Yeah, it feels
well,
weird.
because you have to have something very specific.
It's really designed for digital content creators.
Yeah, it's really hard as a theater person because it's like, well, you can have a
If
free
you're a
ticket to my
musician,
show.
it's easier.
Yeah,
If you're,
definitely.
Put out a song.
Yeah, or a video person.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we do a little podcast on there too, but yeah.
And then we're
I have Minion Productions on Facebook, and because there are a lot of different things that use that particular name, it's looking for the Blue Robot is the easiest way to find. On Instagram, I do more of the travel side than theater side usually because it's good for visuals, but that's just under Grant Knutson. And same Grant Knutson on Facebook, but the monthly lists we were talking about where I list off just any fringe festival in North America whose applications are currently open every month, and that's going to start getting larger right now because we just ended most of the largest of the summer fringe season, which means they start getting applications in, getting the new artists now for next
It all
season.
starts over again.
So the next few months,
Right.
that's going to get a little bigger. So that's all on the Minion Productions page online, or one called Fringe North America. It always gets shared.
So, ladies and gentlemen, come to the Mini Rogue this weekend over at the back room of the Review. And KP, what do you want to do now?
Let's wrap it up.
Okay, let's wrap it up. And I think we're good.
Yeah.
The donuts are almost gone.
I know.
Thank you so
Have to
much,
make a new pot of
KP.
coffee.
This has been
Yeah,
great.
thank you for the coffee.
Yeah, hopefully we get to do more of this as artists.
Yeah.
Just testing it out. That's a way of me introducing. I've always wanted to do this. I have
Yeah.
a platform. We have a platform we can share. And hopefully when Rogue gets closer, I would love to get artists to
Absolutely.
artists.
Yeah.
Come and have a
Skype in,
conversation.
even
So-
touring artists.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much for having us on.
Yeah,
All right,
thanks.
guys. All right, have fun. Wave everybody goodbye.
Bye.